Well, let's talk about another move that's happening right now around the NFL. Some rumors circulating around the Cleveland Browns potentially fielding some exploratory calls on Baker Mayfield. This was first reported, obviously, by Pro Football Network's NFL insider Aaron Wilson, and said that the Browns, they are definitely fielding some exploratory calls. Not that they're looking to trade Baker Mayfield, but teams are calling, and they're also putting together some exploratory, scenarios in case they wanted to trade for a guy like even Deshaun Watson at this point. I don't believe that the Browns would be really serious contenders, just my personal opinion on Deshaun Watson. But it's interesting enough, though, Tommy, here that exploratory calls are being had.
If you're saying you're having exploratory calls, it means you want to trade him. Like, you don't let that go onto the media unless you're saying you want to move.
It's only got to be like, at this point, Deshaun Watson's got to be the only option for the Browns if they're really looking to trade away Baker Mayfield. Who else are they going to trade for in this year's NFL open market, or that's on an NFL team? I just don't see it an upgrade over Baker Mayfield, maybe outside of a guy like Deshaun Watson.
And you brought up earlier when we were talking about Baker Mayfield and his injuries. Like, he did a similar thing to what Gardner Minshew did the year prior. Like, Gardner Minshew was trying to hide a thumb injury and tried playing through it, and it was detrimental to his play. He ended up losing his job and wound his way up in Philadelphia. The only difference was this was very public. We all knew what was going on with Baker Mayfield, but Kevin Stefanski still wanted to run him out there and use the exact same system. Like, Baker Mayfield is at his best when he's kind of using play action. And he's also really good when he's rolling out. Like, when he was rolling out to his left, and you're really having to turn and put a lot of torque in your upper body, trying to get the momentum coming through. When you have that torn labrum, like, he wasn't able to get that same amount of torque and turn that pressure to get the velocity on the ball down the field. That's why you see to a lot of inaccuracies when he was rolling out. So I think part of that was just scheme, but like I said, another part of it was just Baker Mayfield needed to know, like, okay, maybe this isn't the best time for me to be out there on the field right now. Maybe I'm not necessarily helping the team. Like, I would much rather have, though, a quarterback who I have to rein back than I would someone just sitting on the sideline, just riding the bike, smoking a cigarette. You know what I mean? I would rather go to war with that guy.
Did you see Andy Janovich's quote about Baker Mayfield? Like, it's very expletive, but it kind of describes his toughness. I said you can cut his junk off, and he effing wouldn't say S-H-I-T about, like, complaining. Like, he wouldn't complain. That's how tough Baker is. It's like, I also think about this too, because look, I understand too, in the professional sports, we watch it, we're entertained by it. I can't just help but think what the hell goes through Baker Mayfield's mind when he sees all these things. The whole thing that happened with the OBJ situation, obviously being trashed by OBJ's father in the public media, going on YouTube comment section saying, oh yeah, posting YouTube videos and clips of where his son's not getting the ball thrown to him. You got Browns receivers liking it. Like, is Baker Mayfield that bad of a dude, or is it just like this is a perception that the media has created? And look, Colin Cowherd has had a field day with it, because that's just the type of guy that is, low character media guy out there. But it's like, it's easy because that stuff is like low-hanging fruit. People grab onto it, and all of a sudden it becomes the gospel.
If anyone watched when Baker Mayfield was in college, and there was a game against Kansas where they didn't shake his hand, you saw what he did on the sidelines. I honestly think every time he sees something on TV, he's doing that exact same thing to the TV just from his own living room. I agree with that. Like, here's the deal. Like, how could you not like that? Like, that's okay. You want to be disrespectful. You don't want to shake hands pregame during the coin toss. Okay. We're going to see it. The amount of cheap shots he took in that game from them too, and still got up and threw touchdowns. That's what I've loved about Baker Mayfield, this toughness. He's got this swagger to him. People love that. Like, I just don't understand how Baker Mayfield has become such a hated player in the NFL, and especially on social media, especially with the people that have the avatars of certain players and not their real name or face in their Twitter profiles, talking the most smack towards these athletes. I simply just don't understand it, Tommy. And it's like when everyone makes the low-hanging fruit jokes. So it's like, oh, he's probably filming Progressive commercials. Like, who cares? Like, he's doing what you wish you could be doing. He's doing what we all wish we could be doing, which is going out there and playing professional sports on a Sunday. Like, let the dude have some fun. Like, he's got that kind of just aura and that moxie about him. Like, we saw that when he planted the Oklahoma flag in the middle of the field. Like, that's the kind of player that he is, and that's going to bring on a little more hate from the people who want to take cheap shots at him. But all Baker Mayfield's got to do is go out there and play football and shut people up. If he does it this year, after they've gotten rid of Odell Beckham Jr., after you allow Jarvis Landry to be released, like, if he goes out there and plays well this year, I don't want to hear a word. No. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I mean, put some respect on his name. Like I said, too, I don't think Baker's a bad dude at all. I think he's gotten a bad rep, I think, in the eyes of the media. There's a lot of local Browns media that have kind of portrayed this. It's just dumb. Look, and I think the expectations there, too. He's the number 1 overall pick. Like I said, his type of production is the type of production I think some teams that don't have quarterbacks would have loved to have. So we'll see if Baker could turn it on here in 2022, fully healed from that injury he had shoulder surgery on. there. That's kind of a conundrum when you say shoulder surgery together. It's a little bit of
I'm not even trying it.
right there.
I got tongue tied in my head.